Breathe deeply. I say this first, because what you are about to receive requires you to be fully present. You did not land here by coincidence, and you did not survive everything you have survived by accident. You remained faithful when walking away would have made perfect sense. You continued believing when every voice around you spoke against your faith. You persevered through the quietness, through the postponements, through seasons where it seemed I had gone silent, even though your soul was crying out. I acknowledge that steadfastness. I see the manner in which you kept moving forward even when exhaustion threatened to consume you. I witnessed the countless nights you questioned your path and still chose to hope. I observed the years you shouldered burdens without anyone noticing. This present moment is heaven's response to that unwavering faith. Do not rush past this. Do not scroll. Remain here with me. Certain moments open only once in a lifetime, and you are standing inside one of them right now. You were guided to this place because something deep within your spirit heard my voice before your rational mind could process it. You are selected, not because you have achieved perfection, but because you demonstrated willingness. You showed willingness to continue trusting when circumstances felt unjust. You displayed willingness to maintain belief when others mocked, questioned, or abandoned you. That willingness carries more weight than you comprehend. Pay close attention now. I am addressing you individually, not the masses, not the multitudes. You. I know the name you were given. I know what keeps you awake at night. I know the private concerns you never vocalize, the worries you carry silently so others do not burden themselves with your struggles. I know the weight you feel when you contemplate finances, provision, obligations, and what lies ahead. I know how frequently you have wondered how much longer you can sustain this pace. And I am declaring to you now, you will not have to bear it in this manner much longer. A blessing is being prepared for you that transforms the way you draw breath. A release that changes the quality of your rest. A provision that does not merely address a problem, but reinstates your dignity, your peace, and your capacity to envision possibilities again. This is not about extravagance. This is about liberation. This is about proper alignment. This is about finally entering what was postponed, not canceled. I am creating the pathway for a divine financial breakthrough that includes purpose, protection, and sacred responsibility. And before your logical mind begins to argue, before skepticism attempts to interfere, pause. I am not constrained by human limitations. I am not intimidated by vast numbers. I do not measure the way mortals measure. I speak and circumstances realign themselves. I declare what does not yet exist, as though it already stands visible before you. I provide according to my unlimited resources, not according to your history. You have been in a season where you absorbed lessons about restraint. You discovered humility. You cultivated patience. You learned to recognize my voice in the stillness. Those lessons were not penalties. They were careful preparation. Because what is approaching your hands demands maturity, not recklessness. It requires wisdom, not anxiety. It requires a heart that remembers its origins and does not lose itself in the journey forward. There were instances when you questioned whether doing what was right was extracting too high a price. When you observed others progressing while you remained stationary. When you asked why integrity seemed to move slower than compromise. I witnessed those moments. I counted every single tear. I maintained records of every sacrifice. Nothing was squandered. Not one gesture of faith. Not one hidden choice. Not one occasion where you selected integrity when no one was observing. I have always been nearer than you imagined. Even when isolation felt absolute, I was directing you. Even when opportunities closed, I was shielding you from pathways that would have drained your essence. Even when delays caused frustration, I was reorganizing timing so that when the release arrives, it remains permanent. Pursue alignment first, and everything else arranges itself in proper sequence. When you find rest in me, you lack nothing essential. When you place trust in me, you are not trailing behind. When you wait with genuine faith, you are not overlooked. Stay with me. Do not depart yet. What unfolds in the coming moments builds upon this foundation. This is where your entire perspective undergoes transformation. This is where the narrative shifts from endurance to expansion, from mere survival to wise stewardship, from praying just to manage to being entrusted with abundance that blesses others through you. You are not arriving too late. You are not underqualified. You are not disqualified by your previous actions. I do not view you the way people view you. I examine the heart. I examine the willingness to obey, to develop, to listen, to persist. That is precisely why you are here. That is why this message located you. That is why your spirit feels awakened in this moment. Take a breath. Allow some of the heaviness to lift. You do not need to solve everything today. You simply need to remain present, remain open, remain receptive. This marks the beginning of a sequence, not an isolated event. And it reveals itself step by step for those who stay. If you sense this is meant for you, if your heart recognizes truth within these words, mark this moment with faith, not for my benefit, but for yours. Let it serve as a memorial that you were here, that you agreed, that you did not scroll past your pivotal moment. If this resonates with you, leave a comment below. Let your voice be heard. Your engagement signals to me that you are ready to receive what is being set in motion right now. Stay with me. Do not scroll away at this point. What I am revealing requires your complete attention. Not because I need it, but because you need it. What you are stepping into is not arbitrary, and it does not hurry. It deepens. It settles. It establishes roots. And right now something is shifting within you. Even if you cannot articulate it fully yet, you recognize it. You have spent considerable time being strong for everyone else, carrying expectations, carrying responsibilities, carrying the unspoken pressure to make situations work. Even when resources felt scarce, you smiled when fatigue overwhelmed you. You encouraged others while privately wondering when your season would arrive. I am telling you now, your season is not approaching. It has already received approval. There existed a reason you needed to develop discernment before abundance arrived. A reason you needed to establish boundaries before overflow came. A reason you needed to identify who genuinely walks beside you before I expanded your influence. Because what is entering your hands must not leak through incorrect doors or be consumed by wrong voices. You are being entrusted, not merely compensated. I recognize there were moments you felt invisible, moments when prayers appeared to echo back without response, moments when you wondered if you had misunderstood my intentions. You did not. Silence was not my absence. Delay was not refusal. I was developing your capacity so that when provision manifests, it does not overwhelm you or pull you away from who you are meant to become. Listen with care. The blessing ahead is not solely about provision. It is about repositioning. It is about authority returning to your decisions. It is about peace returning to your sleep. It is about dignity returning to your work. It is about no longer reducing your dreams to accommodate your current circumstances. I am elevating your vision to align with what I have prepared. A distinction exists between wanting more and being ready for more. You have crossed that threshold quietly, without fanfare, without announcement, through consistency, humility, and endurance. That is why this message feels different. That is why your spirit feels alert at this moment. That is why something within you is saying, stay. I am installing clarity where confusion resided, strategy where stress resided, confidence where fear attempted to settle. You are no longer guessing your way forward. You are being guided step by step, decision by decision. The correct people will recognize you. The appropriate opportunities will locate you. The precise timing will align without you forcing anything. Do not compare your journey to anyone else's journey. Their assignment is not yours. Their pace is not your pace. Their season does not invalidate yours. What I am constructing through you has a specific form, a specific purpose, and a specific impact. It will make sense when it manifests, even if it feels mysterious now. I remind you of this truth gently but firmly. You are not alone in this. I go before you. I stand beside you. I guard what concerns you. I open doors no person can shut, and I close doors no person needs to walk through anymore. When you experience unexpected favor, that is my hand. When you receive provision from surprising sources, that is my provision. When you sense peace in the middle of chaos, that is my presence. These are not fortunate coincidences. These are intentional interventions. I have been actively involved in your story all along. If you feel encouraged by these words, I invite you to like this message. Your simple action acknowledges that something is shifting in your understanding right now. Stay. The story continues to unfold. I want to address something important. You have been carrying a question for a long time. The question sounds like this. Why has my path been so difficult when I have tried to do everything right? Why have others who care less, try less, and give less experienced advancement while I have experienced opposition? Let me answer that question directly. You were not experiencing punishment. You were experiencing preparation for a level of responsibility that requires internal fortification most people never develop. I do not prepare everyone the same way, because I do not call everyone to the same assignment. Some assignments require comfort to execute. Your assignment requires strength. Some assignments require popularity to execute. Your assignment requires character. Some assignments require resources first. Your assignment required you first. Everything you interpret as hardship was actually me building something in you that cannot be built any other way. Resilience is not taught in classrooms. It is forged in crisis. Discernment is not learned from books. It is developed through betrayal. Faith is not given through sermons. It is established through unanswered prayers that you chose to keep praying anyway. Compassion is not acquired through success. It is cultivated through suffering that taught you how to hold space for others who are suffering. Every closed door removed you from spaces that would have kept you small. Every lost relationship removed people who lacked capacity to honor the version of you that is emerging. Every financial pressure taught you that your security does not come from what you can see, but from who you trust. These were not random difficulties. These were strategic assignments designed to build specific qualities that you will need for what is coming. And now the building season is complete. The testing phase has concluded. The preparation has finished. You are not entering more preparation. You are entering activation. This is why everything feels different now. This is why you sense change, even though nothing visible has changed yet. The spiritual atmosphere around your life has shifted. Within the next 30 days, you will begin to notice confirmations. A conversation that opens an unexpected door. A check that arrives when you needed it most. A person from your past who reconnects with opportunity. These will not be coincidences. These will be confirmations that what I am speaking to you now is real. Pay attention to these signs. Now I need you to understand something about this next season. It will not look like you expected. Most people assume that breakthrough means everything suddenly becomes easy. That is not how I work. Breakthrough means you are being moved into a larger assignment that carries larger responsibility. With that comes larger grace. But it also comes with larger requirements. You will not have less to do. You will have more to do. But you will have the capacity to carry it without breaking. You will not have fewer decisions to make. You will have more decisions to make. But you will have clarity to make them with confidence. You will not have smaller challenges. You will have bigger challenges. But you will have authority to navigate them with wisdom. The difference is this. In the last season, You were carrying weight that was meant to build you. In this new season, you will be carrying weight that is meant to bless others through you. The burden shifts from internal development to external impact. What you learned in private will now be applied in public. What you discovered in isolation will now be shared in community. What you developed in hiddenness will now be displayed in influence. This is not about you becoming famous. This is about you becoming faithful with what I am placing in your hands. Some of you will steward financial resources. Some of you will steward relational influence. Some of you will steward creative platforms. Some of you will steward organizational leadership. The form will differ, but the principle remains the same. You are moving from being shaped to being used, from being trained to being deployed, from being refined to being released. I have something specific to say about your finances. You have been faithful with little. You have given when you barely had enough. You have honored me with your resources even when doing so required sacrifice. I have seen every act of obedience, and I am about to show you that I always honor faithfulness. In the coming months, watch for financial provision that has nothing to do with your labor. This will arrive through channels you did not create. An unexpected refund, a surprise bonus, a debt forgiven, an opportunity that pays beyond prediction. I am not limited to your job. I supply according to my riches, and my riches have no limit. Your responsibility is to remain faithful, generous, and trusting. When I move financially, it will happen quickly. Things that should take years will happen in weeks. This is what occurs when heaven intervenes. If these words are touching something deep in your spirit, take a moment to comment below. Simply write the word "ready." This is your agreement that you are prepared to receive what is being released. Your participation matters. It signals your faith. Do not scroll past this moment without responding. Stay present. The most important part is still ahead. Let me speak to the relationships in your life. You have experienced unexpected losses. People you thought would be with you forever suddenly disappeared. This has left you questioning your judgment. Let me bring clarity. Those relationships ended because they were assigned to a specific season. Their departure was not evidence of your failure. It was evidence of changing seasons. Some people are called to your preparation season, but they are not equipped for your manifestation season. When you begin to operate in your calling, the frequency changes. Some people cannot sustain themselves in that frequency. Their presence served a purpose. That purpose has been fulfilled. Release them with gratitude, not bitterness. In the coming months, you will encounter people who understand you in ways previous relationships never did. People who match your frequency without you having to explain yourself. People who see your value without you having to prove it. These connections will feel easy, natural, effortless. The work season is over. The flow season is beginning. Trust the process. I also want to address the opposition you have experienced. You have felt targeted in ways that seemed excessive. Sleep disturbances, mental heaviness, thoughts that do not sound like you. This has been strategic warfare designed to stop you before you reach this moment. The enemy knows that when you fully step into your assignment, his systems suffer damage. That is why the opposition has been so intense. But hear this clearly. The level of warfare you experienced is proportional to the level of assignment you carry. The fact that the attacks have been relentless confirms that what you carry is significant. But the attacks are losing power because you are crossing from preparation into activation. The warfare is shifting from trying to stop you to trying to distract you. Stay focused. Do not allow distraction to derail what delay could not destroy. Every test you passed brought you to this moment. The warfare was not meant to defeat you. It was meant to certify you. And you are certified. Now I want to paint a picture of what the next 12 months will look like if you stay aligned. not to create pressure, but to create expectation. Within 60 days, you will receive a specific invitation. It might be a job offer, a partnership proposal, a platform opportunity, or a relational connection. When it arrives, it will feel too big for your current capacity. You will be tempted to decline because of imposter syndrome. Do not. That invitation is heaven sent. Say yes even if you feel unqualified. I will equip you after you obey, not before. Within 4 months, you will be in a different environment. Not necessarily a different location, though for some it will be, but a different atmosphere, a different circle, a different level of operation. The transition will feel sudden even though it was years in the making. You will look around and realize you are surrounded by people who think differently, operate differently, value differently than the previous season. This is confirmation that you have crossed into new territory. Within 6 months, you will have a conversation that validates everything you sensed but could not prove. Someone will speak words that confirm what I have been saying to you privately. This will happen in a public setting or through an unexpected encounter. When you hear it, you will know beyond doubt that you heard me correctly. That confirmation will release boldness you have been hesitant to walk in. Within 9 months, you will see the first major fruit of this season. A tangible result that can be measured, witnessed, celebrated. This might be financial, relational, professional, or spiritual, but it will be undeniable. You will recognize it as the beginning of manifestation, not the end. This first fruit will create momentum that accelerates everything else. Within 12 months, you will be operating in a dimension of authority you could not have imagined 1 year prior. You will make decisions with confidence. You will speak with clarity. You will move with certainty. People will ask what changed. You will not be able to fully explain it because the change happened internally before it manifested externally. All of this requires one thing from you: immediate obedience. Not delayed obedience, not partial obedience, not convenient obedience. Immediate, complete, radical obedience. When I prompt you to give, give. When I prompt you to speak, speak. When I prompt you to move, move. When I prompt you to wait, wait. When I prompt you to forgive, forgive. When I prompt you to release, release. Your willingness to obey in small instructions determines whether you will be trusted with large assignments. Obedience is not about rules. Obedience is about trust. It is about believing that I see what you cannot see and that I am leading you toward your highest good. Every time you obey when it does not make sense, you are making a withdrawal from fear and a deposit into faith. Every time you obey when it costs you something, you are proving that you trust me more than you trust your own understanding. Every time you obey when no one is watching, you are building character that will sustain you when everyone is watching. Obedience is the bridge between promise and manifestation. I have made you a promise. You are standing on one side of the bridge. Manifestation is on the other side. Obedience is how you cross. You cannot skip the bridge. You cannot build a different bridge. You must walk the bridge I have laid before you. And that bridge is obedience. Now let me address the resistance you might feel. Some of you are hesitating. You are thinking this sounds too idealistic. You are wondering if this truly applies to you. Let me settle that question. The fact that you are still reading is proof this is for you. Out of everyone who will see this message, most will scroll within seconds. But you are still here. That is not random. Your spirit recognized truth before your mind could process it. The resistance you feel is not intuition warning you. It is fear trying to protect you from change. Fear disguises itself as wisdom, but underneath is simple fear of the unknown. You have spent years in familiar struggle. Stepping into something new means leaving what is familiar, even if what is familiar is painful. But staying in familiar pain because you fear unfamiliar joy is not wisdom. It is self-sabotage. You are not created to simply survive. You were created to thrive. I am giving you permission to believe that something better is possible. Hope is not naive. Hope is courageous. Choose hope. Choose trust. Choose forward movement. Before we close, I want to give you 3 specific instructions. First, take a moment right now and comment below. Write the words, "I receive this." Those 4 words are your agreement with everything I have spoken. They are your declaration that you are ready. They signal to the spiritual realm that you are aligned and available. Do this before you finish reading. Second, identify one person in your life who needs to hear this message. Someone who is in their preparation season. Someone who is questioning if their struggle has purpose. Someone who needs to know they are not forgotten. Share this with them. Your obedience to share might be the catalyst for their breakthrough. Third, within the next 24 hours, take one tangible step of obedience in an area where you have been hesitating. It does not have to be massive. It needs to be intentional. Send the email you have been avoiding. Make the phone call you have been delaying. Start the project you have been postponing. Give the offering you have been considering. Have the conversation you have been fearing. That one step of obedience will create momentum that breaks inertia. You are standing at a threshold. On one side is everything you have known. On the other side is everything I have prepared. You cannot stand in the middle forever. A decision must be made. Not next week. Not when you feel ready. Now, I am calling you forward. I am inviting you into alignment. I am releasing you into assignment. The preparation is complete. The approval is granted. The blessing is activated. What happens next depends on what you do next. Will you scroll past this moment and return to familiar patterns? Or will you respond with obedience and step into what has been waiting for you? The choice is yours. But the opportunity is now. Heaven is watching. Angels are waiting. Your future is calling. Respond. Obey. Move. This is not the end of your story. This is the moment it transforms.